In this video, I want to talk about why flex space commercial buildings, especially in good locations, are the ultimate type of building for a showroom type of business. Let's get into it. So what is a showroom type of business? Well, it's a business that blurs the line between a retail type of business and an industrial type of business that needs some warehouse. So I've said about flex buildings before that they kind of have a range to be able to handle a bunch of types of businesses inside of them because they are part warehouse, part industrial, part retail. And these are the types of businesses that need that type of building. Why is that? Because they need a lot of open space for their showroom. So I am thinking of 2 or 3 in the construction-based world. Let's think about a flooring company. As a matter of fact, I know a flooring company that is in a flex building. Not one of the ones that Avondale built, but it's a similar setup where they have a large steel building, not as big as the one I'm standing in, but it's a good sized steel building, and probably half of it is dedicated to their showroom. You can imagine with a flooring company, there are a lot of racks of tiles and woods and carpets and all this. And so they've got a nice big open space for customers to come in. They have a retail facing front, which is what you want if you are a showroom type business. Again, you are essentially a retail business. You would love to have traffic come in off the street and start looking around and buy material from you, right? But you also need warehouse and office space. And this is where the flex buildings work so well. Now, I am standing in what we call a shell of a flex building. So as I spin around, you can kind of see everything. We've got storefront doors behind me for that retail type of appearance. We are, in this case, on a pretty busy road. So if there were a flooring business in here, they would have a lot of drive-by traffic. And that's what you want for a retail type business. But a lot of those flooring type companies or showrooms won't work in the normal commercial space that you see in these strip centers. Ceilings may not be high enough. It may not have a big enough overhead door, garage type door on the back to bring these big materials in and out with a forklift. So they often get relegated to other kinds of spaces in industrial parks and things like that. But a flex building in a good location can accommodate everything that they need. So that type of business works well. And I'll go into a few others that work well in these types of buildings. Okay, when I'm thinking about showroom businesses, I mentioned construction type stuff with flooring company, and there's a few others that fall in almost that same category. You have your decorative lighting stores. You know, they generally want high ceilings, they want to be able to hang a lot of things, they need big open spaces, and they still want that drive-by traffic, the good-looking front on the building. And so they are great candidates for flex space buildings, as are countertop companies that want to have a big showroom. You know, there's a few others I can think of off the top of my head. You will even see, I've seen some car businesses go into the flex space buildings that are like exotic car sellers. There's one that I know of in a flex building that actually all they sell is Corvettes, older Corvettes. But they want to be in that high traffic road. They need to have the big warehouse space. They are actually in a row where some of the other businesses are retail. So again, it's the flexibility of these types of buildings to accommodate showroom-based businesses that work so well. You can still come into these and build out offices, build out whatever kind of space you need while covering that large open showroom setup that you want. This particular building we're in here has 3 storefront doors, which, you know, that's a term for these glass doors that you see on the fronts of stores. So buildings like these can even be divvied up. You could have 2 to 3 tenants in this 10,000 square foot building. I could easily see all 3 types of showroom companies I just mentioned going in here. You know, you've got a lighting store, a flooring store, and a countertop store. So I hope that helps explain why these flex buildings are really advantageous for the showroom-based companies that are out there, especially when they are in these kind of hybrid retail areas where you've got a lot of drive-by traffic and you don't want to be, you know, buying a warehouse down in an industrial park. So appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you in the next one.